for this problem, what we're doing is we're making a two-way table. So to make a two-way table, it means that I have two different variables that I'm dealing with. I have, in this case, I know I have a total of 250, and I'm dealing with clubs and I'm dealing with part-time jobs. So I'm going to make a table over here, and I'm going to say, okay, well, on my table, up here I'm going to talk about jobs. I'm going to say, okay, so we're dealing with how many of them have jobs and how many do not have jobs. And then I always have to have a total column. Okay, so that's that side. So then on this other side, I'm going to deal with people that are in clubs, no clubs, and again, total. So that's how I start, by setting it up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my red marker and draw my lines. Line, 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 line. And these are the boxes. And I need something, a number in each of these boxes, all 9 of those boxes. So let's start by filling out the information that they gave us. So the total of 250 students. So that's my total. So in both the total columns where those meet, so where this total column meets this total column, I know I have 250 students altogether. What else do I have? Some are involved in clubs, some have part-time jobs. 130 have part-time jobs. Some are in clubs, some aren't, but 130 need to total have these jobs. So we know that 130 goes there. And then it says 110 are involved in a club. So I'm going to put 110 total, whether or not they have a job. 110 total are in clubs. And then our last bit says 100 are not in a club and do not have a part-time job. So no club, no job. Where those two meet, I have 100 students. So now that's all the information that they gave me, and I'm going to use that to find the rest of this information. So let's see. If I have, in total, I have 110 that are in clubs out of this 250 total students. How many students are not in a club? Okay, 250 total, 110 in clubs. That means 140 are not in a club. And I can do the same thing down here. Out of 250 students, 130 have a job, which means 120 do not have a job, because my total of students is 250. Okay, so let's keep working our way in. So now I go, okay, well, 140 total are not in clubs. 100 of those do not have jobs. That means 40 of the ones that are not in a club have to have a job. And then I can say, okay, well, I have 120 students who don't have jobs. 100 of those are also not in a club. That means 20 of the students who don't have jobs are in clubs. So then I can use that same information. I can either use the 20 and the 110, or I can use the 40 and the 130. Either way, to find the number that are in clubs and have jobs, I can say, okay, well, if 20 of the students who are in clubs don't have a job, and there are 110 total, that would make this 90 that are in clubs that have jobs. And then I can double check and make sure I did that right by saying, okay, well, 90 of the ones that are in clubs have jobs, 40 that have jobs are not in a club. Do the 40 and the 90 add up to that 130? And they do. So that is my completed table.